What's up, guys? This is Jude Mossberg from Facebook, Jude's Junk Facebook comic book shop and YouTube channel. And I'm going to chat a little bit about Facebook Marketplace and how you can sell comic books on Facebook Marketplace. It seems pretty straightforward. There's actually a lot of moving parts. A lot of people use Facebook Marketplace wrong, and you may not be aware of the implications of that. Uh, First of all, Facebook Marketplace, if you have to get approved to get on there and sell through the marketplace. This is not to be confused with Facebook Pay, which is more like a no purchase protection Venmo option. When you're in Messenger, you could ask for payment through Facebook Pay, but that has no purchase protections. Don't ever fall for having someone pay you. Paying someone that way, because there's no purchase protection. But if a Facebook Marketplace, you got to get set up, because Facebook's going to charge taxes. The commission you're going to pay is now 10%. It used to be 5%. So you're going to pay a 5%, I'm sorry, a 10%. And that could be including shipping as well, if I remember correctly. So not that far off from eBay, to tell you the truth. I don't really like selling in Facebook Marketplace anymore, because the 10% that Facebook pays is now very high, and you don't get the same amount of eyes that you do on eBay. So you might as well just do eBay. And I think they did away with the Facebook shipping options. You got to now ship it yourself and figure out shipping yourself and all that. But when you create a Facebook Marketplace ad in your profile, if it's $500 or less, you can blast that out to any group you're a part of. So if you're only part of 10 comic book groups, you can share that Facebook Marketplace ad with 10 different groups. If you're a part of 300 groups, you can share that Marketplace ad with 300 groups. Now, they're constantly changing their rules on how many you can share to a group at a time. Recently, I was able to share to 50 all at once. I didn't used to be able to do that, but recently with their system, that was the option. They just changed that again, so I think it's back to like 22 or something is the most you can do. And then you can share it to 22, hit send, then you can go back in and share it to another 22. And the groups that you can choose to send it to, you can't sort those. You can't sort them by alphabetical order or anything like that. They just come up in your little window when you want to share that Marketplace ad with a group. It comes up in whatever order Facebook puts it in. So you kind of got to remember how far down you went, and then you got to pick up there and do another 21 and then another 21. The problem is, a lot of them, if you send out too many like that, they'll go to spam. So if you're not a pre-approved seller in that group, then it may go to spam. And I'll tell you, I'm in an admin about 10 different groups. Most admins don't check spam. They're not aware that a normal Facebook post or maybe a regular post could go to spam. In some of my groups, I have one guy is always going to spam, and it says it's because of a keyword. Well, in that group, we have no restrictions on keywords, and I've already pre-approved him, but he still goes to, hey, you got to approve this ad because it looks like there's a keyword. So there's always issues with Facebook and broken things here and there. But if you share out to a lot, it's going to end up in spam. So when you contact the group, say, hey, have you checked spam? And they probably aren't going to even know what you're talking about. And so they go in there, they see it, and then you have to ask them, hey, can you put me on pre-approval? And I usually try to be polite and say, hey, there's been 5 posts that haven't been approved yet. Can you check your spam? And if you need help, I'm happy to help. So that's how I became a moderator and or admin on 10 different groups, is that I'm not making it their problem. I'm saying, hey, my stuff has gotten buried. You haven't approved it yet. If you need help, I'll become an admin, and then I'll help approve those ads. And for the most part, most admins in many groups would love the help. Now, I know there's a few power hungry guy, and you see one admin for 20,000 people, and that's more like, I would say, joke groups. One guy can't manage it all, and he doesn't even want to manage it all. He just is letting it grow, and there's probably all kinds of bots and stuff in there. So, but anyways, you share the Marketplace ad to let's say 100. And that marketplace ad will go away after 7 days. So I believe after 7 days you have to hit renew. And to tell you the truth, I can't tell, but I don't know if renews it on marketplace only, or if it renews it to the top of the feed of all 300 groups. So a lot of groups don't want to see you spam them. And if they see like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marketplace posts a day, they might just block you because they have a rule: no more than 2, no more than 3. So when you renew, I'm assuming it's going to all 300 groups. So that's one option, is the renew. The other one is the delete and renew. I think after 7 of those renews, then you have to delete it and renew it, and then that creates a brand new ad. So I'm not really sure. You could have to play with that and let me know, but there's a renew in the ad every 7 days, and then after 7 weeks you hit delete and renew, and so it deletes that ad and renews it automatically, and then that one probably blasts it out to all groups. But I tell you the truth, I can't tell. But I've been kicked out of groups for renewing like 3 or 4, delete and renew 3 or 4 marketplace posts. And a group will say, hey, you're spamming us. We told you only 2. I did 2 new ones, and then I did 3 delete and renews, and maybe they got the renews from yesterday, so they're seeing like 7 or 8 in their inbox, and they're like, we don't want this. So now I've made a rule that I only delete and renew 2 a day. So I might have like 400 marketplace ads out there, and a lot, and then I delete and renew. That's different than renew. Delete and renew is after the 7 weeks, you deletes and renews. So it's only going to go to the groups. It's only going to go to marketplace nationwide if it has shipping. So $500 and less, you can put shipping in there. If it's over $500, people can't see it nationwide. So the only way they can see those bigger books is if you post them in groups. And my assumption is when you renew or delete and renew, it pops up to the top of the list. I'm not totally sure. Like I said, that might just renew it in marketplace. I don't know if it renews it in a group. And you'd think I'd be able to figure that out, but I just can't. It's somewhat confusing how Facebook Marketplace works. So you put in a real price, and then someone clicks Facebook Marketplace, buy now, and then they pay tax, and they pay your shipping, and the order gets processed through Facebook. You will get a PayPal goods and services invoice at the end of the year, 1099. So I got like 3 from PayPal. I didn't know what was going on. Well, 1 was regular PayPal, my account. 2 was, I found out later, was through Facebook. So you get paid through PayPal. That's on the 1099. So, and a 3rd one I think might have been paid through PayPal. Might be eBay. So I got like 3 1099s from PayPal. I couldn't figure it out. Also, I had a couple profiles, and so there's a different 1099 for each profile, whatever. So anyways, if they click it now, and that's what marketplace ads are designed for. They go in, they click now, buy now, and they got purchase protection, and you just get an order, and then Facebook pays 10%. I don't really like it when people buy on PayPal goods and services anymore because of that 10%. So in the body of the ad, I say, hey, this is what it's going to cost to ship PayPal goods and services. And then people usually say, hey, I want that book. They send me their PayPal. I send them an invoice. Now, I found out if you send them a PayPal goods and service invoice, the commission you have to pay is a little bit more than if you just request the $100 from them. So if you just request the $100 from them, the percent you pay is like a 1% less. But if you do PayPal goods and services, you actually have to pay more to use the invoices on PayPal goods and services, which I didn't know for years. But on a bigger book, that adds up. Smaller books, it's probably pennies, but it is like 1% or something. Most people want invoices. Most people want records. They can go back in and pay attention on their PayPal app of what they bought, what the book was, who the person is. It has your email address. PayPal goods and services, whether you're buying or shipping, you can communicate in there. You know, if it's goods and services, you already have the address in there. So even though I like to buy and sell with PayPal goods and services, I use the marketplace ads. So yes, the marketplace ads are set up so you can click buy now. Within the ad, I say, $700 ship PayPal goods and services. And that's how most people contact me. But a lot of people use the marketplace ads the wrong way. And as an admin in 10 different groups, I've started cracking down on this. I don't think buyers want this junk. They use it as a marketing tool. The marketing tool is you sharing manually to 10 groups, 20 groups, 32. That's you and your work, or you pay Facebook to market it. But to misuse marketplace because you want to advertise your book that you wrote, or you want to advertise a convention, or you want to advertise your books, but the marketplace ad's only $1, but it's $1,000 book, so you can't do buy now. A lot of that is just confusing to buyers. It says right there in the lower left-hand corner, it's $20 for this book, but when you look in the ad, it's $50. That's because they set up marketplace to say 20, but they really want 50 for the book. And so it gets confusing to a buyer. And in a lot of the groups, we're very pro buyer as opposed to pro seller. We want buyers to come to these groups and buy. That's how sellers are going to sell books, is make it easy for buyers. And I'm a seller, and I don't want the groups to be easy for sellers. I want them to be easy for buyers. The confused mind says no. So if a buyer gets confused, they'll just click away and move on. So you want to make it easy for them. So we have started to ban marketplace ads that do not allow you just click and buy now. Maybe it's an advertisement, like I said, for a convention or something like that. That can go on the discussion side. So when you have a group that accepts marketplace ads, there's a lot of different groups out there, and I have 2 lists in Excel. And it took me a long time to figure out. You might want to keep track of which groups accept marketplace ads and which ones don't. Marketplace ads can only be shared with groups that are buy-sell groups. And as an admin, you go and you click this little toggle button. We want to be a buy-sell group. And so on all Facebook, and then there's a lot of groups that are not buy-sell groups. So on the groups that are buy-sell groups, there's 2 tabs. There's a discussion tab and a selling tab. And they can choose which one's going to be the homepage. So as an admin, I can choose whether the discussion's going to be on the homepage or the buy-sell one is going to be the homepage, and that's just at the discretion of the admins. So if the buy-sell is the homepage, then that's what you're going to see when you look on that page. You have to go over to discussion to search that area. Whereas if you make discussion the homepage, then a lot of your ads might be buried in the buy-sell page, and someone has to go over to the buy-sell page to see it. So being aware of those differences is just helpful, so you can see what your clients are looking for, or how to communicate to your clients if they're like, well, where's it at? I don't see it. Oh, it's because it's over in the buy-sell side, not the discussion side. So anyways, you can share your marketplace ad with buy-sell groups. The non-buy-sell groups, that's a manual post, and you got to go into each one of those groups and copy paste, put in the pictures, and you got to manually put a post in. And a lot of the bigger groups like that route, and they don't allow Facebook marketplace ads. And it's probably because of this issue with marketplace ads that a lot of people are misusing it. And so now it's just junk, it's just advertisement. People are skipping over it, not paying attention. And so they just do away with, we don't even want to be considered a buy-sell group as far as Facebook goes, because we don't want your marketplace ads over here. Just put a regular ad up. The problem is it's hard to do manual ad, to 100 groups, whereas you can do it quickly in Marketplace. So I still use the Marketplace function. If they go into my profile, they can scroll down the bottom and they can see a bunch of my Marketplace ads. The problem is they can't really sort through my Marketplace ads very easily or well. So I actually have a Facebook shop attached to my page that people can go and see all my inventory and sort it. And that's really the tool to go through and search. You can't really search Marketplace ads very easily, especially if you have a lot. Now, I didn't even talk about putting an ad up on your page and then sharing that to groups. I've been doing that more and more. That's not a marketplace ad. That's just on a page you can share to a bunch of groups. A lot of groups don't allow pages to share. So you got to know which of your groups allow pages to share into or not. So if you do an ad from your pages, not an ad, but a post on your page, and then you share that post, the benefit of that is you can only have 10 pictures in a marketplace ad, or on your page you can have 81 pictures. So I do large posts in my page, my Jude's Junk page. I do large posts, 80 pictures, and I might have 80 to 100 different books in there with prices and description, but I might only have 80 pictures. And then I can share that out to all the groups that allow pages to share too. Now, you could always ask an admin, hey, would you be willing to allow pages to post here? And they might say, I don't know how to do that. And so you got to actually help them learn how to do that if they don't know how and they want pages to share. You can also tag those posts on your page with the items from your shop. But again, we're focused on Marketplace today, and I just wanted to show you the distinction between Marketplace and trying to do a post on your page, and sharing that out is the post on your page can hold 80 pics, Marketplace can only hold 10. So if you're trying to use a Marketplace ad to sell multiple books, Marketplace doesn't like that. They don't want that. So you need to put a price in Marketplace ad. And so a lot of people just put in a filler price. So I want 10 books that are $100 each. And so they just say, $50, or they'll say 100. Okay, well, if someone says buy now for 100 and you got 10 books in there for 100, neither one of you know which books you're actually selling. So then you end up communicating, and then you tell them, I want you to cancel that. I want you to pay through PayPal Goods and Services. And again, the confused mind says no. They say, all right, and they just walk away. Don't waste my time. They block you, and they never see your stuff again. So the way I use multiple ads, and I don't really use multiple ads, but the way I put multiple books in a Marketplace ad is I make the focus one book. And if they click buy now, I use the price for that focus book. It's one book, Incredible Hulk, $345, signed by 8 different people, 9.4, Todd McFarlane, Stan Lee, John Lennon, John Romita, a whole bunch of people. I think that's like a $1,900 book. So that may or may not be the best example of what I'm about to share, but you go and you put one book at the top, and then and then I put a price in the Marketplace ad, $1,900. That's not going to have shipping, and it's not going to be advertised on Marketplace nationwide, but you can share that to groups so people know, hey, that's a $1,900 book. And then a lot of people don't know you can click on an ad and see all the details in the ad, which drives me crazy. How do you not know to click on the ad? You didn't read the description. Usually they ask me questions that's right there at the top in the description, but they click on the ad and then they can see, okay, here's the book, and then I have the price, $1,900 ship, PayPal Goods and Services. And then below that, I usually will put a list of other books that are related, like over $1,000 signed books or something like that, or Todd McFarlane books, or all Hulk books. So I usually put that down in the description side. And a lot of my clients have loved that. They've actually came back and said, I love your lists. I can just scroll through there, see what books you have. I can see the grade, because it's really graded books, not raw books. It's hard to trust someone when they give a grade for a raw book. So, hey, these are all, and I focus on 9.8, so I don't have a lot of different, 9.6s, 9.2s, except this was an exception. But so in the Marketplace ad, they can just scroll through all my Todd McFarlane books, and they can say, oh, you got the ASM 300. Oh, you got the, whatever, Infinity Inc. number 16 that they just came out with a new action figure on. Infinity Inc. I think it's issue number 16 with the skull guy. And they just created a new action figure. So that book was supposed to be a little bit hot. So I put that in the ad, but I only put one picture. I used to put a front picture of the front and a picture of the back. But if it's a 9.8, you already know what condition it is. You don't need to see it unless they ask for it. I have a couple clients that are snobs, and you know who you are, and they want to see pictures of the front and back of the 9.8 books because they're looking for very specific things. And that's cool. I'm happy to do that. But I put one picture on because it shows up in the groups better. And it shows up better than an eBay ad. If you look at an eBay ad in a group versus a Marketplace ad, my Marketplace ad with one picture is going to be much easier to see than when someone just copy and links an eBay link in there. It'll be a small picture. And so the Marketplace ads show up well. The picture, one picture, it makes it clear on what it is. When you have two, it kind of squeezes two together, and maybe the sides are cut off. So don't put in 2 pictures, and certainly don't put 3, 4, or 5 pictures in. It just makes it confusing. And then don't put multiple books unless you only want to sell it as a grouping. And then when it says $500 at the bottom, then you look in the ad, it should be $500 for those 5 books. If not, you're just making it confusing for the buyer. And the confused mind says no. I'll say this over and over again. The confused mind says no. I've had some people complain that they didn't like my long descriptions. They're like, I can't tell which book is which. Well, it says right at the top, this is for this book. It's $1,900. If you click buy now, $1,900 will be charged and you'll get this book. And I say in the ad, or you can do $1,900 PayPal goods and services. And then in the bottom of that, I actually have a little description. Here are other books I have that are similar to it. So when someone says they're confused, they're probably not clicking on the ad. They're just seeing this long list of books and they don't really maybe know how to read a marketplace ad, or they don't know what's going on. I'm happy to explain that if that's the case. So anyways, as an admin, I get people putting marketplace ads on, requesting to put marketplace ads on my groups all the time. And I've had to create a rule. If it's an international ad, it'll show up only in one currency. So all your marketplace ads will show up in US dollars, even if you post it to groups around the world. A lot of the international groups don't want you to post books onto their group if in the lower left-hand corner it says USD. Now, even in the body, you might have, hey, this is how much it is in Canadian or Australian or pounds. But if the ad, it says USD, a lot of international groups don't want you to post it. Now, what I've done is I go in the ad and I say, this is exactly how much it is Canadian. This is exactly how much it is pounds. This is exactly how much it is in Rand, South Africa, and Australian dollars. And so I have it in the ad, but the problem with Marketplace is you can only have one currency, and that shows up in the like the thumbnail on the group page. You have to click the Marketplace ad to see the different. But a lot of people are trying to do international Marketplace ads, and they're just using their country. So I see these ads from Thailand, and they don't want to put in what the US dollar amount is. And so I'm not going to go try to do a search on, 1,000 whatever the unique currency is. And we just started banning those international marketplace ads from our groups because it's just too confusing to the buyer. And if you're thinking you're going to get a whole bunch of Indonesian buyers on the groups that I'm an admin in, they're almost all American, based groups. They're not, Thailand-based groups or whatnot, Filipino-based. There are a lot of those groups, and I don't usually sell in those unless I do the conversion for them. But a lot of those people, they don't set up the marketplace ad right. They do it in a foreign currency, and then they certainly don't offer shipping. So you can't click buy it now. You ask them what the shipping is. They say they don't know. I know what my shipping costs are going to be overseas. So I tell you that right there in the ad. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a $5 book. It's in Indonesia currency, and you're advertising it in an American group. You're not going to pay the shipping for a $5 book for Indonesia. So don't even bother, putting it in our group unless you want to take the time to spell it out in the ad. Hey, this is what the USD conversion is, and this is what it is fully shipped. And you have to do and then if you're advertising in a place you're not going to do a lot of shipping to, then you don't need to even advertise in that place. So anyways, those are other things that have become very confusing as an admin, groups, marketplace ads in different currencies. There's a lot of Canadian groups that allow me to post because I do put the Canadian conversion in the actual ad itself. There's one group that just insists, no, you can't. The actual currency that you select in Marketplace has to be CAD. And if I did that, then that means it would say CAD for every single group I post that Marketplace in. Could I create a brand new Marketplace ad just for Canada? Sure. Or I could just put a regular post and not even use Marketplace. So anyways, it is a long video, but there's a lot of moving parts to Marketplace ads. And a lot of people may or may not be familiar with them, but this is to help those who want to get into Marketplace ads or want to see if selling through Marketplace ads is a good idea. And it can be done if it can be done well. You can reach a lot of people, but hopefully these are some hints that will guide you. Happy hunting, guys.